Hello everybody, this is Phill. Today is a bit of an unconventional video for me, at least, because I usually script a lot and today is basically totally unscripted. I only have 8 themes that I want to talk about, but this video is going to be about living and studying abroad. Like I said, I have like 8 overarching themes that I want to talk about today, and the first one is probably fear. So since I was around 6 years old, I actually wanted to study marine biology, and I kind of had a feeling that it was not going to happen back in Germany. So I really played with this idea of moving abroad for a long time. And one thing that was holding me back the whole time was fear. Fear was such a prominent thing for me, and it held me back for many years actually to make that move, literally. I was afraid to leave my home, I was afraid to leave my family, my friends, and it just felt very, very daunting to actually make that move. And I couldn't actually see myself doing it most of the time. What I can say now is that it's also been the most fulfilling thing that I've done so far in my life, and the most rewarding as well. So when it comes to fear, I think you've heard that a lot, but people always say like, all you want is on the other side of fear, and it is very much true. And I also think like the things we are most feared about are mostly those things that we really, really want in life. So I would say it is really worth overcoming your fears. So the next thing I want to talk about is struggles. Struggles have been there from the beginning and they are still there, but I would say that most of the struggles actually happened when I started out, when I actually arrived. So you have to imagine there's just, even before you leave, there's so many things you have to organize, whether it's back home or in your new country you're going to live in. For me it was like organizing my studies, finding a home, finding people who I can talk to, and transportation. It's like there's so many things that you have to think about. And once I arrived, I also had this really weird feeling, which I think could probably be described as homesickness. And it was really rough for me in the first couple of weeks and months even, I would say. I really had to get used to the climate because I moved to Australia and to North Queensland. It was very, very difficult to deal with the hot temperatures and the humidity and everything. So depending on where you make your move to, there's so many different things that you have to consider. But it is very interesting because now, after being here for 2 years, I feel like I've really acclimated in a way. I like that it's always sunny, but I don't like the heat, and I absolutely don't like the humidity. But yeah, it doesn't feel as bad as it felt first when I came here. And this is only one example, but there are so many other things that I've struggled with, and I really feel like I've grown from all these struggles, and that's why I actually try to embrace struggles that are coming up right now, and I see them as stepping stones to my goals and to my own success and growth, which is really nice. And one of the things I'm really grateful for, that only happened because I came here and didn't stay where I was, you know. The third thing is friendships. Friendships are such an important thing when it comes to moving to a new place. And I think some people would describe me maybe as like the lonely wolf character. So especially in university and etc., I never really made a big effort to meet people, which is maybe also because I'm more of like an introvert. But the first 6 months, I would say at least, after I arrived here, I didn't really make a lot of friends, and that was probably also why I struggled so much, because I felt very alone, and I didn't live with anyone, which was my choice because I really wanted to have my own place, because I had my own place before. And it's very common, especially here in Australia, to have like roommates and stuff if you want to save money. But for me, it was very important to actually live alone and have my own space. And now after 2 years, I can say also in this regard, I'm super happy that I did it, because I really cherish my own space, and it's something that I've been growing through as well. But the reason why I mention friendships here is because the people I've met and the friendships I've made over the past 2 years wouldn't have been possible without this step and me overcoming my fear of moving countries, of moving continents. I met so many great people since I moved, and one of the most important things for me, obviously, is that I found a really, really amazing partner, and she's the most amazing human being I've ever met, and so supportive, and we just have so much fun together. I wouldn't change it for anything else. But it's also about the friends I've made, and the first example that comes up for me here is probably my friend Will, who I already connected with when I was still back home, and we chatted online, and he said, well, you should stay with us when you come here, because I had to stay in New South Wales for a bit because of the quarantine regulations, and this was when one of my best friendships of my life developed, I would say. And there are so many things that developed out of this friendship already, like me diving more into spirituality and making my last documentary, Unbreakable Will, which was one of the most amazing things I've ever done, and also the most difficult, because it's been my biggest project so far. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, you know. And then all the people I've met here in Townsville, where I live right now, the people I've met at uni, we've become friends, and I'm just very, very grateful for every single one of you guys who are in my life right now and who share this journey with me. Yeah, friendship's one of these puzzle pieces of the bigger picture that is moving abroad. So the fourth thing I want to touch on is personal growth, and I've already mentioned this in a way, but the number one thing that comes up for me when I think about my move abroad is definitely personal growth. And that's because of my friends, because of the struggles, because of overcoming fear. So because of all the things that I've previously mentioned. There are so many different levels to this. So this is one thing I already could talk about for like 1 hour. But if you're thinking about moving abroad, really expect a lot of personal growth, internal growth, and a rise in confidence as well towards life. The next thing that's on my list is appreciation. And that's something that I've been practicing for a long time already, I would say, but moving abroad has made me appreciate certain things so much more again. And one of the most important things in regards to appreciation, I would say, is thinking about the people and the things that are still back home. I've come to realize certain things about myself, about my family. I appreciate everything that I left behind so much more and in such a different way now than I used to, which is very interesting for me. And also because of cultural differences, I would say, you come to appreciate certain things that you had back home so much more, because either they don't exist in the new place you move to, or they are completely different, or they are super expensive, something like that, you know. And then on the other hand, you make new experiences, you see new things, you get to know new things, and people are different, you know. So another thing that you really get to appreciate, just all of these differences that make up life, you know. The next thing is confidence, and as a result of my personal growth, I've become so much more confident in so many different ways, whether it is sustaining myself, stepping up for myself, knowing my value, knowing what I'm worth, knowing what I'm capable of. There are so many things that I've been through, and many things that I had to go through on my own without any help from my parents, my family, in a way. I mean, they were always there, but in the end, it always comes down to yourself, you know, and you are here, and all the people you know, they are 15,000 kilometers away. So it can be very, very frustrating, and it can be very difficult at times. But once you're through these difficult times and you look back one day, you look back at those times and you're like, wow, I can't believe I made it through. And this gives you so much strength and so much confidence to keep going and to achieve all the things that you still want to achieve in the future. Number 7 is opportunities. I mentioned a few opportunities that I received because I moved and because I met certain people already, but apart from the projects I've done here, one thing I want to really mention here is that the reason why I came here and the reason why I was able to come here was because I was studying. I actually received a scholarship, and it took me quite some time to actually get one. And then COVID happened. I had to wait 1.5 years, and I thought they would take it away from me again. But they didn't. And I had the opportunity to come here. So studying here was the number one thing. It was the reason I came here. It was what I was doing most of my time, and it was very difficult, and I also grew a lot from doing that. But the longer I stayed, the more I realized that this opportunity to come here was not really only about studying. It was way more about all the other things. So now, after all this time, when I talk with people about coming here, studying here, I always say I see studying kind of as like the vessel that allowed me, gave me the opportunity to come here. But everything else that surrounds that is like the people, the experiences I've made, the places I've seen. Everything around that is what fills this vessel and what really makes the experience what it is. So yeah, it's a lot about this one opportunity for me to come here, but also about all these teeny tiny opportunities that arose from this big one. And the amazing thing is, I already know that there are so many more opportunities waiting for me in the future because of everything that I've been through in the past, everything that I've worked on, everything that I've achieved since I came here. And it's just such an awesome feeling to know that there's like this world of possibilities, of opportunities, just because I made this step, you know. The last thing I want to touch on is redefining home. And this is probably one of the biggest things for most of us who move to another country, move away from family and friends. Some people will say that once you move away, abroad, and you spend a couple of years living somewhere else, home is not really home anymore. And it's very interesting because at this point I can't really see myself living back home again long term, I think. But at the same time, I don't really feel 100% at home where I am right now, which I think is okay, because I know that there are a couple of things that actually make me want to move somewhere else soon. But you find yourself in like this void between home and your new home, and it's kind of weird. If you think about it in a negative way, it can actually make you feel really lost. But if you think about it in a positive way, it can make you feel really strong in a way as well, because you come to realize that it actually is a feeling and not a place. And I know many people have said this in the past, but after living abroad for 2 years, I can really say that this is true. And for me, it's mostly about the people. I think at this point, I could go with the people I love anywhere on this planet, or even in this universe, who knows, and feel at home, you know? Certainly some places feel more like home than others, but I think the number one thing that determines if you feel at home is who you are with. And that's probably one of the most important things I learned during this time abroad as well. So yeah, these are the 8 themes that I wanted to talk about today in regards to the topic of moving abroad and living abroad. Thank you so much for watching today, for listening to me, and I hope that this is maybe helpful for anybody out there who thinks about moving abroad or thinks about maybe just spending 6 months abroad to study. And if anybody's out there who has made similar experiences like me, please reach out as well, comment. I'm super happy to answer all questions, and really happy to connect with you guys. I can just say it's one of the best things I've ever done, if not the best thing. Yeah, I really would recommend it to anybody out there. It's such an amazing day today. I think I'm gonna head off and enjoy it a little bit more. Thank you guys. Be brave and believe. Oh, I'm glad this is done. Oh.